Hey everyone, in today's lecture we are going to look at how to connect our programming language with SQL and do data visualization on it. So I will just give you a brief intro in real life case scenario. What we have is basically we have a database, right? And from this database we do data visualization on it. So basically you don't have those CSV file that you are practicing on. Instead, you are provided some database link that the port which is it open to, and ID and password, and you are allowed to get those data. And so this would be a helpful practice scenario in your real life, because you will know okay how to connect the data through SQL or any other database and do data visualization on it. So what we are going to do is uh, we are going to first we are what we are going to do is install R. We are going to look at how you could install R and R IDE, and then basically R Studio IDE, R Studio IDE. mm, So we first install R Studio, which is basically a simple IDE interface, and then once we have installed, uh, in this course you have already installed the SQL. If not, you could look at the lecture 2 of SQL Masterclass. In this I have briefly explained how to install the SQL database, and in those I have already imported our dataset, that is DVD rental, and in those dataset we are going to do the data visualization on it. So you could already have SQL installed. If not, you could look at to lecture 2 of SQL Masterclass. If you are directly jumping on this lecture, I will recommend you to go to lecture 2 and install SQL and have installed the DVT rental database. So with this, we have installed all the all the packages we need. Then we are going to see how to basically connect R with SQL and then do data visualization. So for first thing, what we are going to do is basically we are going to install R and R Studio ID, and let's move on to how you could install those. First thing what we need to do is we need to go to the R installer, and you could say R install, which will take us to create basically um, a comprehensive R archive network in which all the open source projects are there in there, and this allows us for the R to install. And basically you could see it's 83 megabytes, and my system is 64-bit and Windows system. So basically if your system is for example if it's Linux or if it's Mac OS, it will show you that kind of installer. So based on that, the installer would be different, and we have to click on our install and we have to wait for a few seconds. Let us wait till it gets downloaded. And for a quick fact, R is built on the compiler of R is built on a Rust, and that's one of the fact. Uh, Also, a lot of programming languages compiler uses Rust, so that's a good thing. That so there is memory safety thing, but that's extra fact. So once this shows, we need to click on English. Now set up R for Windows. Next, I am okay to have this selected at that place. Yeah, accept default, nothing to change, just need to click on next. And what it will do, it installs R, and I hope it also add the data part to in Windows. So when I have to run R, it doesn't not bother me too much. So when I press R, let me so R have been perfectly installed, and if I open this and say mm, R version, let's say it should give an error because R is there is no version. Let's say print, and we are able to get print hello. And basically we have version 4.42, and to connect with uh, SQL, I basically prefer an IDE, which is known as R Studio, and it's very famous IDE for R. Basically, for you could look at it. This is built by Post-it, and we have to click on download R Studio, and it will download the R Studio for us. Basically, we have installed this, and it supports 3.6.0 plus version. So currently we are on 4.42, and by the time you are watching this video might be 4.43 might release, but yeah. So once it's done, we need to click on our Studio Desktop for Windows, and it's 263 MB file. And we'll just I will resume the video when it gets downloaded, and I will show you how to get installed. So with this, I will pause this video to wait until it gets downloaded. So once now the R Studio for my desktop have been installed, what I will do is I will click on R Studio, and it will give us setup thing, and we just need to click on next. And you could see it requires space required to be 1.1 gigs, and I have available space 54 gigs, so it could be easily installed onto my machine, and it will take few times to install, but you could see basically it's extracting license and yeah, DLL files, node, it have nodes, you could see all those things. And what I will suggest you to it, once these packages gets installed, go through their, like, you could see that the some hash file is getting been extracted, all those things have been extracting thing, and just read out, it will help you like how this is built, or it will excite you. So something or another thing could give you an interest. So just recently we could see that there was some file regarding Node.js, so you could imagine that okay, the UI was built on the Node.js, and that's why how they have set up the when they were building our studio, their UI was built on Node or JS. So that's why how they get like how they get the R Studio UI in Windows. So you don't have to learn separate programming languages for uh, UI. So if you know web development, this might be helpful for you, because you just need to use the same thing in R Studio. Sorry, in website application. So here, my R Studio have been installed, and I hope you could see that this is all the previous file. So what I will do is I will go to the file and press Ctrl Shift N, and here is the new file, and I will save it in desktop, and I will create a new R project and basically in this file we have already have our project, so that's a good thing. So what I will do is I will paste uh, type the name of the file. So basically checker, what we are going to do is just checking if it works or not. So we are going to say print hello world, just to check if it's working or not, or correct installation have been done. So hello world, and then we just press Ctrl Shift Enter, and we get our output. So if you are imagining how to run this file, either you could click on this run and it will run, or you could press the shortcut key, that is Control Shift Enter, and it will run. And one thing I will recommend you is always to remove the global environment variables. Why? Because uh, you don't want your like when you run this file, you just need this file's data variables, not previous files. So once the program runs, it like if you run this file, like hopefully it runs. But basically, if you run this file, you get the variables from this file, and once you run this file, suppose you called box3 and it have separate variable, you might be confused because this box3 value contains the previous like previous, it's getting value from this file. So better to just clear out this thing, and this table also plot history, just for better uh, workspace. Now with this, we are good to move on to connecting SQL with our programming language, and for this we are going to look at which library we are going to use. Now we have installed our studio. There are a few packages that we require to connect with Postgres SQL. So first one of the packages are Postgres SQL. So I to install this package, either we could go to this package and click on install and do the needful, and it will install. Like we just need to, I will, it's better I will give the board demo. So I will go on R Postgres SQL that we need, and it gives suggestion, that's good. And then we just install this, and you could see that it's already have been installed. The package have been installed. Now what I will do is basically install the next packages that we need, that is DevTool and remotes to connect with the our database. So I will do install dot packages, developer tools that we need, dev tools. It will install it. Basically what's happening, it basically make a GET request to Crane website, that is comprehensive R archive network, and it install lot of packages. What it does, it first install the DevTools, but DevTools contain lot of packages inside it. It requires other packages as also, so it install those packages too. So it might don't take too much time because it's more like it's the packages, library packages in MB, and also it's very much optimized, so it shouldn't take too much space. Next, we need to install remotes, and similar process. It says remotes does not find, and let me check if we could install from here remotes, and yeah, it's, I don't know, there is some bug in this, right? Installed, but basically okay. So install dot packages. Um, okay, we need to add double quote, so it's installed. Now what we need to do is, now we need to run few commands to connect our SQL with R. And basically, if you have installed PostgreSQL, you have this pgadmin4, and if not, I will recommend you to go to the lecture 4 in which we have done this. Here in this server, when I open servers, you could see that I have PostgreSQL 16 version 16 have been installed. So this is great. If you have other version, it will show it here. Like if you install Postgres 6, 12, 16, suppose you install 12, it will also show here only. And basically in this, I have 4 database, and one of the database is DVD rental. And here I will go to PySQL tool, and hopefully I will type /dt, and dt, well, it gives all the data tables that we have. And what I would need to show you is the main thing, that is the how to connect SQL with R. So here, if you look closely, and let me increase zoom in, size view, zoom in, zoom in, so control plus plus. So here you could see that to connect with this database of DVD rental, it have already run this command, and the host is localhost. The port is 5432, and 5432 port is the common port in which all the application gets connected. The DB name is DVD rental. The user is Postgres, and the SSL mode is prefer connection timeout. But the thing we need is DB name, port, host, those things, and we uh, need the password. And the password is the password. When you install this, it asks the password to connect, and if you have forgotten the password, there is no way you could recover it, so you might need to reinstall and redo things again. So I hope you do not forget those passwords. Usually keep it simple for this kind of thing, and I would not recommend if you are in production and keep this, because if there is a hacker wants to try to get into database, he will just use a list of common password list and brute force those, and your database would be wrecked. So now I will go to our studio and write out some codes. Now before that, I forgot to tell you, we need to install two more packages, that is um, RDBI Postgres, and it will install. It's a big package and it will take time, and I have already installed, and I will just say uh, it will take time, so it's just updating all the package and reinstalling them. And yeah, let's wait for a few seconds, and I will pause this video and I will come back once the installation is ready. Now lastly, we need to install packages.rPostgres, and what I will do is I will paste this install.packages r Postgres. Better I would do it from here, r Postgres, and this is done. So basically, to connect with r with with Postgres, you could call connection, which is short for con db connect, and then we need to call r Postgres, and in this we need to call Postgres. Let's could not find db connect, and it should be inside library dbi that we have already installed. So Postgres, and P should be capital here. Let me recheck, and yeah, now it's done. Basically, it's saying connection to server localhost at port 333 or supplied fail. Basically, we need to fix few things, but this is the function that connects your R Postgres with R with Postgres. And now I will remove this function, and we need to add few things. That is, first, that is DB, and DB, to assign this, we need to provide the database name. And to get the database name, we know the database name is DVD rental. So I will copy this. Basically, I will write DVD rental in double quote to be sure it's string, not any character. Now we need to add host DB, and let's check what's the host DB. And basically host DB is the local host. So we'll add local host. Basically, local host means it's inside your machine. It's not hosted somewhere remote place. So it's just going to go to the port 5432, and the DB port is, or let's check, the DB port is 5432. Here we could add DB port 5432. Next, DB user is, or DB user is Postgres, and this should be in double quotes. Oh, and here we have typo. To assign variable, we need to use arrow kind of uh, operator, uh, like greater to the operator, and then a dash. Then uh, it assigns this value to the DB user. So Postgres value is inside DB user. Now that's done. I think last one is DB password, and I have just saved a very easy password, and I won't recommend you to do the same for the production. Spoiler alert, if you do, like, your manager won't be happy. So the password is admin basically. What we need to do is next is I will prove the zoom in zoom into the code basically, and then we need to call all those parameter that we have made. So db is equal to, sorry, connection, and to make a connection we need to call db connect, which is inside dbi, and we need to pass our postgres, p in capital postgres, and inside this library we need to call the postgres method, and then db name. Which, what is our db name? Db name is db, that is dvd rental. Port is always equal to or db port. Then we have user, which is equal to our db user, and then we have the password. So let me take my mouse here. User is equal to or user yeah, it should be db user, basically db user, and password. And whenever you declare like a variable, I recommend you basically not to use space in those. Basically use underscore, and basically if you declare a like variable with space, it will not accept, because it's not correct way to declare a variable. But even if you like save a file or name a variable or declare some loops inside or declare a string which is not going to be readable or something for else, don't use space inside it, because when the compiler sees, it have different notation for it, and better to use underscore for any other thing. So we run control shift enter, and guess what, we have been connected to our database. Now to get the list of table, I will call um, list method db list tables, and we will need to provide connection. So we already have connection is equal to con, and let's call it, and we have get all customer list, all those things. Now we will write a simple code to make a data visualization on this. Now in this, what we need to do is basically we need to query. Now what we are going to do in data visualization, we are just going to count rentals by category. So what we need to do is first we need to get the category, right? And to get the category, let me just move this up. And so we are going to start from category, and in the category we need to if we need to get rental and film category, we need to have join statement. So to connect this, we need to have connect. If I need to connect this, I need to uh, get the category ID as connecting parameter like foreign key, and then to connect film category and film, we have basically film ID to connect, and to connect inventory to with film we have inventory film, and then we have rental ID. So we could connect those two and then this two. So with this, let us write our SQL query command to get the number of category fields by the count. So to get the rental, we are going to need to use join statement basically. So I will go to this, and I have written down this code. Basically, I will remove it and rewrote again. So basically, we need to type query, and in this query, we need to select thing. So yeah. So basically, we could type query select category dot name, and we will name it as category, and then we need to get count of this as rental count, because this have been taken as rental count, rent count, and to get the rental count from the category we need to make a lot of join statement. So from category, and to make a join statement to category 2 film category, you need film ID. So join film category on category dot category ID is equal to film category dot category ID. And here we have a typo, so I will fix this. It's category but extra E R. So this looks good to me. The first join statement look good to me. Now we need to make film category join to another table, that is film, I think. Yeah, film, and we have film ID as a common parameter. So join film and film category uh, dot film ID. Yeah, film ID, and then we need to make a statement equal to film dot ID. Now we need to make one more join statement from film to the inventory. Uh, and if you look here, when I was writing code, I would thought, why not skip this join statement? So basically, to connect film category with inventory, we could directly use film ID. So we don't need to have connect this and this. Basically, we could connect directly this two. So I will update the code in here our studio and film category to film ID. That's cool. And then we could directly connect. We could remove the statement, and then we could connect inventory based with this. So we could connect with film ID. So inventory on film category dot film ID, is equal to inventory dot flame id. Then we press join and then we say rental, we press R. I like caps thing for SQL command. It's up to you which command do you like. So inventory, then we need to get the rental. So to connect with the rental, we have I think we have inventory ID as common parameter, because here we have rental ID, inventory ID and inventory ID here, right? Yeah. So we'll click on rental and then inventory dot inventory ID is equal to rental dot inventory ID, and I'm thinking that's it. So that's our query. Now we just need to connect our database and get the data uh, rental database. So basically we could pass the parameter called um, rental data, and we could get query the data. DB get query is the correct one, that gives us the query and connection we need to pass and the query we need to pass. So we will pass. So it's saying that we have error in line join rental on inventory is equal to rental ID. So it's saying that perhaps you meant to reference the column rental dot inventory ID. So let me check this. What is the so by looking at this, basically it's a typo error. So we have inventory ID, instead it should be inventory ID, and let's enter it, and we have next error that says category groupment. Okay, yes, we have to use group by clause to get the category by name. So group by we need to add, because we need have used aggregate function, we need to group by something, so we will group by the column the category name, and we have got our rental data. And if you view our data, we get family games based on how the which films have been rented out. And now what I will do is basically wrote down visualization code. And if you are thinking how I'm coding this, basically we have created our masterclass series in which we have gone through our from basic to mastery and data visualization process. So first thing what we need to do is rental data. We need to pass the data aesthetics, basically how the mapping should be done in X and Y. So X could be our category and Y could be our rental count. Yeah. And now I think we need to do some geom. We need to do it by geom bar. Like we need to get the basically bar plot, and yeah, and then I think that's it. If we enter it, we get our basic plot, and it's saying that there is error. Let me check once. Basically, we had a typo mistake, and I have also added few more things. Basically, I have added stats as identity and fill the color by light blue. We have title by rental by category, X is category, and Y theme minimal. And if I ask you to change the theme, you could use any other theme also. So let's say they have a lot of themes for this. So theme base, and let's see, here is your rental count, but let's keep it to theme minimal. And basically you have got the rental by category, and what next is we need to fix this thing. So let's see how we could fix this. Now we will see how you could plot this. So to fix that issue, I will rewrite the code statement rental data we need to provide. Then aesthetic would be or mapped by X, and we will reorder or category and rental count. Reorder rental and rental sorry category and rental count, and then y would be our rental count. So rental count if we need to fill it by any color, we could fill it by category color. So whatever the color based on category is, it will be filled. And yeah, that's it. And then we need to plot it for our geom and it's saying that there is a code error. Yes, because we need to add more things. Geom stats is equal to basically identity, and this should be a string. Then we are going to flip the coordinates, so we are going to call quad flip. And sometimes when you press insert button, right, this thing appears, and if you want to change it, you could press insert button again to fix that issue. So basically we call quad flip. Then we have called this function, and there's typo again, flip should be correct. And then theme minimal we could use, and let's see if it works or not. We have got our thing, and then we could also add labs, basically titled for our plot, and I think that's correct. And then we get number of category. We could see that the sports rental were high, games are very few, music based on music is very less, because I think at that time music a lot of music come to the iPod. And if you need to check, you could do the data visualization by date. We could see that animation is also next to high to sports. Then we have action films. So with this, I think we could wrap up our lecture for our connection with SQL. And in this lecture, what you have learned is how you could use R Studio to connect with Python. Sorry, to connect with SQL database. And in this, we use RPostgres, SQL RPostgres, and we have used remotes to connect, basically get all the foreign packages that are hosted on GitHub. We have looked at CRAN, basically comprehensive R archive network, how to install R Studio. And with this, we could wrap up our lecture, and I hope you could do very beautiful data visualization. And in the next lecture, we are going to do our milestone project 1, in which we are going to build basically a library application which connects with Python.